Gino Torretta, the Heisman Trophy winner, will be on the call. He'll be in Oxford, Mississippi this Saturday night on the call for Arkansas and Ole Miss on Touchdown Radio. How does one fly into Oxford, Mississippi?
One flies into Memphis, Tennessee, and it's about a little over an hour north. But there's a small town in between Memphis and Batesville on 55 called Como, Mississippi, that has one of the best steakhouses in the country. So I will
Now
be
we
at
know why
Como's
he's doing the
Steakhouse
Ole Miss
tomorrow
Arkansas
night.
game.
Yes, yes, and in 2 weeks, LSU makes a trip, and I will be back in Oxford,
same
Mississippi,
steakhouse.
and I'm fairly certain there'll be more than 40 yards of offense in the half by both of these squads. So
Yeah, let me start before we talk college football. I want to talk some Canes USF with you, but the Dolphins, they got absolutely destroyed in week 1, embarrassed, and how difficult is it to come back? And I know this probably didn't happen to you collegiately, maybe it did in the pros. How difficult is it to bounce back from when you're not the super talented, one of the top teams in the league. So you're already fighting for some sort of relevance and you get exposed week 1. How difficult is it to bounce back from that emotionally and just game wise?
well, you'd hope that as they're all professionals, and you should kind of put it in the rearview mirror. I think at least how 2 days that Channing and I went through, you were physically ready by week 1 through 5 and sometimes 6 preseason games. These guys playing 2 preseason games, and I know it's great having the practices against other teams, but nothing beats when you're out there and it's live. And I don't care if it's a preseason game for a quarter. When you've had a bunch of teams, I would say the entire NFL, I don't think it's good football until you're in week 4, and then you see what you got. But man, what was it, 4? I wasn't even watching the game. My buddy just texted me the halftime stats, and I was like, 40 yards of offense. I mean that's embarrassing. It doesn't matter what level of football you are, high school or college or pros.
And Gino, this is very football nerdsy because Xavier Howard, when he said all we have to do is pack the paint, they're not throwing outside. Is that schematic or ability? Because I think back and I looked at the game. No deep outs, no 7 cuts, no back shoulder fades in the field, no back shoulder fades in the red zone. Like, is it Tua can't do it, or Mike McDaniel is not calling those plays? Because Xavier Howard called it out perfectly what their offense was.
I would say this is that the offensive line can't protect it. I mean, come on, let's go back. You go back 25 years. Everybody was running 7-step drops and trying to work deep routes. They're not doing it anymore. I think he has the ability to do it. I mean, come on, he's been throwing seam routes up the sideline since he was out at Alabama. So I think he has the arm to do it. The question is, every coach, like when Notre Dame played Miami, you got a young quarterback. At some point in time, you have to just run deep. I don't care if you complete it or not. If you're Xavier Howard and he knows they're cutting in front of me in 10 yards, he's not backpedaling. He's not getting out of a back pedal. So until you run by a guy and they think, oh man, they're gonna actually try to throw it deep, then they're gonna get beat like that. And you can bet, the copycat league of the NFL, you can bet the Patriots are going to do the same thing. They're going to run the same defenses. They might throw some different blitzes based on their personnel, but they're going to run the same stuff that the Colts did last week.
Gino, I'm probably overreacting, and I'm not even telling you that I believe this is what's at play here. But after how bad Tua did look on Sunday and just the overall record in the last 14 to 15 games, I believe it's 7-8 now. Is it possible for a guy who's just dealing with a lot, outside factors, the concussions, the constant, media attention on whether or not he should be playing football? Is it possible that, he's almost playing a little, I don't want to say afraid, Gino, but just like rattled, and he throws that first interception on the first possession, and like that's it. Like he just can't overcome that feeling of being rattled?
Well, I think if he's worried about those problems that we talk about, I think he's done. I mean, you know what I mean? And I would be really, I don't know, if I'm the person that guaranteed him $200 million and I have thoughts of that, I don't think he has thoughts of that. I really don't. I mean, he's made the decision, heck, I'm going to play. God never worries about if he's going to get injured or not in the game. I don't know if he's pressing. I don't know if, listen, we all knew they were kind of all on the hot seat going to this game, really. I mean, and Channing said it. It's just like, what personnel moves did we make that were better in that area? Like, I don't care as a whole team, but like, what did they do in the offseason where you're like, that improved our team? And I don't know. And especially after week one, I think you could say, I don't think any of them,
Not much. Well, nothing was visible then. Will it be visible later on?
Because their season doesn't get any easier. Let's be honest. I mean, the Bills look pretty damn good. I mean, and the Jets even, I mean, like, listen, it's a tough division, and to start off like that in a team that, listen, they were deciding between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson at quarterback, and they came in and just smoked you. That to me is like, I don't know. It's concerning.
Rough start.
Hawk's a big Judon fan.
I'm taking Matthew Judon. Give me Matthew Judon. I'm all about Matthew Judon.
Okay.
You want to know how they improve themselves? Matthew Judon.
Hey, it lends credence to Solana's terrible argument that it doesn't matter who the kicker is, because it doesn't matter who the kicker is.
If you have 40 yards of offense, it really doesn't matter who the kicker is.
Although I don't know if you saw this, so Kentucky lost to Tennessee or to Ole Miss by like 10 points, I think. So they're getting beat by 13 with like under a minute left, and it gets to fourth down. And Stoops kicks a field goal to lose by 10. It flipped the over-under, and it flipped the cover. And apparently Kiffin was like, I apologize to us allowing them to kick a field goal right there. But it's just like that, I guess unless it's that, it doesn't really matter who the kicker is.
What about Gino in the FSU game? They're up 77-0. East Texas A&M. I still think it's a fake school. Finally gets into the red zone, and with like 2 minutes to go, they kick a field goal down 77-0. Like, is that embarrassing, or do you just say, well, at least we didn't get shut out?
Well, how long's their shutout streak? I know Florida touts they got a long shutout streak where they haven't been shut out. It doesn't matter wins or losses. They touted the last time they were shut out back when Spurrier first got there or something like that.
Well, let's talk USF here, Gino, because I was afraid that this was going to be a trap game, a look-ahead game. It's obviously not that, because USF disposed of the Gators in the swamp with no problem.
I mean, let's be honest. That wasn't without problem. I mean, it was an 18-16, just awful.
I feel like it was with no problem, to be quite honest, at the swamp.
That's not supposed to happen, Gino.
They were getting paid $500,000 to lose, and walked out of there. They all hit Zaxby's and walked out of there with a dub. What are you expecting Saturday, USF and UM? Because from some who I've talked to, they're saying, hey, it's cute what USF has done. They're going to get outclassed Saturday by the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are just too good. I'm wondering what you think.
Well, personnel-wise, Miami's better personnel than Florida is. I mean, they were last year at the start of the season. I told you when I did the Florida-Texas game last year, I thought it was the worst SEC roster I'd ever seen. And the next week, they shock LSU. So, I didn't really figure out there. And then it was almost like, okay, Billy Napier has righted the ship and that. And I'm like, well, there was a lot of righting of the ship, or they brought in some great players. I think maybe they got caught in a trap game. I think USF beating Florida will now force the Miami players, hey, maybe the odds makers, like they're putting a big line on the game. We can't worry about that. We got to go out there and execute. I would say We were up by 2 touchdowns against Notre Dame and got awfully conservative. And I hope that if we get up against South Florida, we don't get overly conservative this week and let a team back into the game. And listen, Kevin Patrick's our D-line coach, one of my old teammates. Marcus Van Dyke's our secondary coach. So there's incentive on the other side. Golish is very good offensively, so he's going to have some stuff for him that they have to adjust to. And you just it's about yourself, meaning it's about Miami. As long as they execute and play up to their standard, they should be fine. But, listen, it's the reason they play the game, and it's the reason college football delivers entertainment weekly every year.
And Gino, I got to go back to the Florida USF thing because I was in the house by myself and I was embarrassed. There was I thought embarrassed had somebody else to be there to be embarrassed in front of. I'm sitting on the couch just shaking my head like, how the hell are they about to beat us in the swamp? People keep asking me. I need some guidance on this. So the story is, if Billy Napier gets fired, it's either Gruden or we go and get Lane Kiffin, pay him whatever he wants to get him out of Ole Miss. I'm a Kiffin guy. Which way would you go if this thing goes downhill? Because I think we play 4 ranked teams in the next 4 weeks. We got LSU, Texas A&M, Texas. Like, we play a bunch of dogs.
Yeah,
not getting easier. So we lose the USF and we play 4 ranked teams for the rest, for the next month. If it goes down, I want to go steal Kiffin. But would you think Gruden, who has openly said he wants to coach in college, which one would you go with?
I would say this. Either one of those guys would be a phenomenal coach for your offense, and it would solve a lot of problems offensively. I think they did kind of broach that Kiffin issue before they hired Napier. And, the history, they were kind of a little scared off with that. I think that Kiffin has matured. He's just gotten older, and I think that stuff is behind him, the stuff he's had issues with in the past. I think either one of those guys, they've been successful as head coaches, and I think they'd be personally, I wouldn't want to hire either one of them because then I know we got a more formidable opponent. I got to tell you this, Jay. I got a text from a buddy of mine up in Jacksonville, up at the radio station up there, and he sends me the 2 guys talking, and it's all Gator territory in Jacksonville. And these guys are just killing the Gators. Like, this guy's terrible, that guy's terrible. I'm not even going to go into names, but the guy, he goes, the bad news Billies. That's what his phrase for the Gators was. And I just started laughing. But remember, it is overreaction month on the positive and negative side. So hopefully he's got a lot of guys in blue shirts that are helping coaching or analyze. So hopefully maybe they come up with an answer here in the next few weeks.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Gainesville has a love-hate relationship. They've got a love-hate relationship with Billy Napier.
Oh, my goodness.
And if Florida State keeps on getting on, just think that's the end of your season. You're like going, oh, man.
Gino Torretta, Heisman Trophy winner. Safe travels up to Mississippi, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
There you go. Gino Torretta, the Heisman Trophy winner.